The people who attract the most attention are often the ones who seem to need it the least. They don't chase. They don't force connections. They don't desperately try to impress anyone. Yet people naturally gravitate toward them. Why? Because they possess something rare: emotional independence. And in a world where many people depend on others for validation, emotional independence becomes incredibly attractive. Most people think attraction comes from giving more attention, more effort, more availability. They believe that if they care enough and try hard enough, attraction will follow. But human psychology doesn't work that way. The more your happiness depends on another person, the more pressure they feel. And pressure rarely creates attraction. It creates distance. Emotionally independent people are different. They enjoy connection, but they don't need connection to feel complete. Their happiness doesn't disappear when someone leaves, and it doesn't suddenly appear when someone arrives. That creates emotional stability. And stability is attractive. Think about the people who remain calm when life becomes uncertain. The people who don't panic when things don't go their way. The people who stay grounded under pressure. There is something naturally appealing about that energy, because emotional stability signals strength, not strength over others, strength over yourself. Another reason emotionally independent people are attractive is because they have a life beyond relationships. They have goals, passions, purpose. Their attention isn't constantly focused on whether someone likes them or not. They're busy building a meaningful life, and that creates curiosity. People are naturally drawn toward those who are deeply engaged with their own journey, not because they're trying to be mysterious, but because they have depth. Emotionally independent people also understand something many people forget. Rejection is not a measure of value. It's a measure of compatibility. Not everyone is meant to connect. Not everyone is meant to stay. And that's okay. Instead of chasing people who pull away, they accept reality and move forward. They don't need someone's approval to feel worthy. And that's where real confidence comes from. Another reason people are drawn to emotional independence is freedom. Human beings naturally move toward people who make them feel free, not controlled, not pressured, not responsible for someone else's happiness. Emotionally independent people don't force relationships. They allow them to grow naturally. As a result, people feel comfortable around them, safe around them, and attraction often grows strongest where freedom exists. Most people operate from scarcity. They believe one person can determine their happiness. Emotionally independent people think differently. They understand that life remains meaningful regardless of any single outcome. This doesn't make them cold. It makes them secure, and security changes everything. It changes how they speak, how they react, how they handle uncertainty. They become less fearful, less desperate, and far more authentic. Imagine two people entering the same relationship. One slowly loses themselves trying to hold on. The other remains grounded while continuing to grow. One creates pressure. The other creates freedom. One seeks completion. The other shares an already meaningful life. And that's why emotionally independent people are so attractive. Not because they care less, but because they know how to care without losing themselves. The moment your happiness stops depending on being chosen, something powerful happens. You stop chasing validation. You stop fearing rejection. You stop looking for someone to complete you. And that's when attraction begins to work differently. Because the strongest connections are not built between two people who need each other. They're built between two people who can stand on their own, but choose to walk together.